Apparently, Cynthia Erivo has been getting a little too much attention with her egocentric virtue-signaling antics, and our favorite Holly weirdo, Rachel Zegler, won't let that stand. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. Rachel Zegler has really made a name for herself in Hollywood, not as a successful actress. Oh, no, heavens no. The girl has manufactured more bombs than Stark Enterprises. No, her true talent lies in attention-seeking tone-deaf hissy fits about how oppressed she is and about how everyone is out to get her.
Weird.
And the Hollywood access media seems all too willing to support these wailing baby fits. Recently, Cynthia Erivo, the woman playing Elphaba in the upcoming film adaptation of the musical Wicked, has been having deranged fan-blaming fits where she makes a general jerk of herself. A lot of people were calling her the new Rachel Zegler, but they forgot that there's only one Lord of the Fits, and she does not share attention. While sitting down for a recent fluff piece interview with Cosmopolitan, a friendly outfit to the Hollywood elite if there ever was one, Zegler launched into her usual spiel of attacking the fans and claiming victimhood. Just another day in the life of a Hollywood idiot.
I don't care.
But then, something interesting happened. What was it? Find out today on Tooney Town TV.
The gift that keeps on giving has given another gift. The most wonderful thing to ever happen to content creation has had another episode, shall we say, and that is Rachel Zegler has returned to prominence.
Oh, yay. Oh, I miss her so much.
Right? I know you did, Trish. So I missed her because every time that she opens her mouth, views go up. So I like, say more things, please do more things. But this is an interesting one, guys. It's not just her shooting her mouth off. Yes, she shoots her mouth off. She was in a interview with Cosmopolitan. So you can imagine the softest of softballs, the friendliest of outlets to her. But they did something interesting. So let's take a look. All right. So this is a little far into it because I didn't want to bore you with most of it.
About yourself.
What's your favorite thing about herself? She says
My humility.
everything. Probably my ability to say no, which is newfound, and also my resilience through knowing when to hide to rebuild myself. And they say, oh, interesting. Give us an example of the last time you hid. Last summer. Why? Because the internet was raging at about something beyond my control. You got bleeping canceled? For being brown, for having brown skin, for playing Snow White. There was a lot of harassment from a certain group of people. They were showing up at my apartment and screaming profanities. But guys, look what's right here. Little footnote on a statement.
What could that say?
And look down here. You know what? I'm going to make it bigger just so you guys can all see. Because, let's see, right here. It says, while doing early interviews about her role as Snow White, Rachel called out the original 1937 movie for its dated ideas about women, among other things. The backlash was swift and harsh. She got fact-checked by Cosmopolitan.
That bastion of journalism.
Guys, when she was still like the next Hollywood it girl, she would have 100% been the person that they would have shielded for anything. They would allow her to sit there and say that she got canceled for being canceled. You didn't get canceled because the people that are mad at you don't cancel people because they're not infants. But it was not for being brown. It was not for having brown skin. It was not for playing Snow White. It was because you attacked Snow White, because you went on a tirade attacking a movie that changed the course of the industry that people love, a movie that you are now remaking, and the target audience partially for that should be people who like that movie.
It's so funny because no one really cared that she was Snow Off-White. People were more irritated about the 7-day thems. And even then, she spoiled that by being a weirdo and attacking Charming. So, what are you on about, you brat?
She is a brat. Like, that is it. She's just a brat. She's a petulant brat. So then they go on to say,
apparently that's
were
a good
you
thing.
were you responding where I wanted to in a way that made it seem like it was tongue in cheek? Then it got to a point where it was not funny anymore, and I really hated myself for something that other people were telling me about myself. What were they telling you, that you black? And then they say, I think people are starting to see performers, maybe because of screens, as non-human. She goes, it's an idolization instead of humanization that strips us of the ability to make mistakes and have control of our own narrative. I came into this industry during the era of streaming, so everybody that doesn't go to the theaters, they see you on their screens at home, and they think they know you because they hang out with you on their couch every day. Nobody watches you every day.
This whole segment, I have like 9 things to say, but go ahead. I won't interrupt
Go ahead,
you.
Trish. We can take a little break. What you got, Trish?
First of all, people are not seeing. Actually, can you put it back up? Just because I want to make sure I get it right. Thank you. It says they're really seeing performers as non-human. No, we're seeing them for who they are now.
Yeah, we're seeing you more. You used to be idolized. Performers used to be idolized and held on a pedestal. Now we're actually seeing you as the people you are, and that is not a good thing.
So then it's the opposite of her response, which is it's an idolization instead of a humanization. No, it's the reverse of that. And then no one's stripping you of your ability to make mistakes. But here you made a mistake, and you're acting like you didn't make a mistake. I usually say when something makes a mistake, people aren't usually angry at the mistake so much as how that mistake is handled. So it's like people can be kind of forgiving of some stuff as long as you handle that the right way. And she clearly didn't and doesn't.
I think the most telling thing about her statement is that she wasn't able to control her own narrative. It's like, yeah, this is reality. Reality isn't a narrative. Narrative is the image you want to put forth. That's the obfuscation of reality. You're just getting called on it.
Yeah, she's talking like it's a movie script, and it's like, no,
she is
we're not following that.
She's saying something here poorly that I've been trying to put into words myself for a long time. Fame is fundamentally corrosive to the soul.
Mm-hmm.
There is an asymmetric relationship that people have with the people they see on TV or movies or whatever, because you have a relationship with that character. And the actor has no relationship with you whatsoever. So because of that division, people react to famous people poorly, whether or not it's heaping praise on them or heaping venom or whatever. Neither one is the right thing. They're just people too. I think she's trying to say that. She's not saying it well.
No, not at all. And she goes on to say, I show up. And by the way, guys, I know this is my Mercedes Monet voice. I only have so many obnoxious female voices. So, you could, yes, it's the same thing. They are basically the same vapid, empty person. I show up to set. I will show up to the show. I'll do my job, but that's where my job ends. I don't have to maintain appearances of being an ingenue when I'm on the street every day. No, nobody expects you to be an ingenue on the street every day. You know what? I'm gonna break one of my own rules here, and I'm gonna use a little saucy language. They expect you to not be a bitch, because that's the expectation for every single person walking the planet.
This is what Jonas doesn't hang out with us.
I know.
He didn't show up, did he?
He didn't show up. So you know what? I figured it was safe. So the expectation is not to be a jerk. The expectation is to just be a normal human being, to have some humility about yourself, to not get on your high horse about every cause that you think is worth mentioning. Just shut up and live your life.
Well,
you are
Go ahead, finish.
I was just saying, you're an actor. You're a pretender. You dress up and play make believe for a living. What you do is not high art. Okay, you are not gifting humanity with your work. You are just you're supposed to be entertaining people. That's it. And that's what the whole of Hollywood needs to realize, that what they are doing is not changing the world. Go ahead, Trish.
Kind of on what Martin was saying about how what she's saying, and he thinks she's saying it wrong, which I agree with. I think part of where she's going wrong is everything that she's saying has this very, and I guess it's to be expected because Hollywood actress, but very self-centered. Like, I don't have to maintain appearances of being an ingenue while I'm on the street every day. First of all, I never looked at her and thought ingenue personally. But second of all, I also don't expect anyone to maintain an appearance of anything except be who you are. And then it's like, I don't know if you have that experience where people expect you to be on 24/7 and want to chat and have a conversation. Like, it seems very much like, the fame part of it, where I get what Martin explained it well. She's not explaining it well. And it's like, I really respect Gary Oldman because he put it as, I act and that's my job. And being famous is a whole other job. I don't have time for it. And I want nothing to do with it. And he's not a jerk. He just doesn't feed into that whole thing. He does what he does, and he's excellent at his job. And I really feel like a lot of these actors could look at someone like him and learn a lot. But so it's like, once Martin explains it, I see it. But because everything she says seems so tickled with herself and thinking like how she sees herself is how everyone else is viewing her, it's coming out all skewed.
It's a disingenuous pity party.
Yeah.
She's trying to paint herself the victim while also reveling in the attention that
Well,
she says she doesn't want.
And let's look at the next paragraph, because that's what she says right here. I don't know if you ever had that experience where people expect you to be on 24/7 and want to chat and have a conversation, because I've had a negative reaction from the general public at times. I don't know what people are thinking when they point at me on the subway. If I'm passing the pizza place on a certain street, I don't want to be gawked at, because that's not the job. Do you know what I mean? Yes, that is the job. That's what goes along with the job. That, look, is it terrible? Yes. But you walked into this knowing that that's what happens. You are not the first person to be harassed by paparazzi because you're famous. If you don't want to be harassed by the paparazzi, don't be famous. You could have been an accountant. You could have been a teacher. You could have been a doctor. You could have been a lawyer, but you chose to be a famous actress. And now you're not going to be able to sit here and complain because everything that happens to famous actresses is now happening to you. That's the game. That's the reality of the situation. You're not going to break the mold because you went out there and were petulant about it. Is it terrible? Yes. Are the paparazzi scum? Yes. But they're coming after you because you're famous, because you wanted fame, you wanted the money, you wanted the opportunities. Congratulations. You got it. You won. It's not free of consequence.
You know what's funny is one of the only things that I actually like about living in New York, because that's really legitimately the only thing, is you can live in New York City. And like, I remember when the soaps, when there were more than 4 soaps in existence, like you would see celebrities walking around and see New Yorkers not give a care.
They don't care.
It's just another person who is on the street trying to go to work while I'm trying to go to work. So like that sweet spot exists. But if you want to have a neon sign hanging over your head and screaming, look at me, look at me, look at me, don't look at me, there's going to be an issue. And yes, you know what? I think TMZ is one of the worst things that happened to Western civilization.
Oh, yes.
But, that's always kind of been there. Just be happy that it's not as bad as it is, for our British brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Clay Works says in the chat, none of what she says jives in the greatest scheme of the situation. It's a typical narcissist defense mechanism to focus on a broader concept while ignoring the context of the discussion. Absolutely. I can't wait to have you on the panel when I get back. It's a good friend of mine.
There was a way to, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Martin. I was done.
There was a way to say this where everybody wins. She could have said something like, I made a mistake, or I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, even though it's a new one. But early on, I thought that I had to be on 24/7. I thought I had to be everything everybody expected all the time. But I've come to realize that the fans are a lot more savvy than that. They're not naive. They can accept that I'm a real person. That's the way to win this.
Mm-hmm. But the problem is, when she opens her mouth to speak, she always says the most abrasive, counterproductive thing that could possibly be said. That's her superpower.
She lacks the humility, the humility and the hubris to pull this off. She is everything that she says she's not, and it's unfortunate. But she was groomed to be a petulant, expectant child, and thus she lives the life of a petulant, expectant child.
Oh, look, she's going to respond to what we said here.
Hey, good.
For some people, it is the job, so I think it's boring. For sure, people say like, "Well, that's what you signed up for." It's like, no, I signed up to make movies. I signed up to be a Broadway show. I signed up to make music. I didn't sign up to be a plastic doll for a bunch of people to pull apart and play with. Nobody's trying to pull apart and play with you, you sicko. Everybody's first comment to you was like, "Twitter's not the world, babe. Just move on." And it's like, well, my dog is scared of cameras because of how many people used to be outside my building. No, that is what you signed up for. You could not have gotten into this not knowing about the press, not knowing about the price of fame.
We need that clip from Mad Men. That's what the money's for.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite things of all time.
Oh my goodness. So then we go into like her dream collaborators and stuff like that. So now we're back to the fluff, but she got fact checked by Cosmopolitan, guys. Now what this says to me is Hollywood might be done cleaning up her messes for her. The woman has never appeared, and I'm going to say woman because she is a grown woman. Yes, you're 23, you're still dumb, but you know what? We're not going to treat you like you're a teenager because you are a grown woman. At the end of the day, she's never made anything that has been even moderately successful. The closest has probably been the Hunger Games movie, and that is the lowest drawing Hunger Games movie in the Hunger Games IP. So
that's not because of her.
Yeah, definitely not. West Side Story, which was built on her back, bombed horrendously. She took a role in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, bombed horrendously. This Snow White movie, if the like to dislike ratio on this on the trailer is to be believed, it's going to bomb horrendously. So, is Hollywood still seeing her as a viable thing they want to invest in? Or is it now to the point where when she says these things, she's not going to have the friendly media to scoop her up in their arms and protect the way they've been protecting her? You would never have seen even 6 months ago them fact check her like that, to put a footnote on a thing that she said and be like, actually the reason people were going at her was because she did this. Thoughts? Anybody?
I think the POC shield is starting to fracture because people aren't just tired of it, they're bored with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that has been a major impetus behind her reign of terror. She can throw up the I'm brown shield, and it stops some people from issuing very valid criticism and allows others to just allow her to go be a vapid juggernaut.
Yep.
And those days are kind of coming to an end. So even if it's not so much Hollywood is done with her, a lot of the protections given, that well is running dry.
Yep. I know you hate when I use this clip in association with these people, but
Shields up.
Well, it's also just the sheer hubris of saying things like that, using the POC shield when you're making millions of dollars, and the average person that's going to see your movies is probably making 5 figures, 6 if they're lucky. There's only so much of that you can take. You're not in any kind of a dangerous situation, lady. There's the people that are coming to support you are giving up hard-earned dollars that you couldn't even appreciate the value of.
Exactly. They are the reason why you are permitted to make the money that you make, to live the life that you live. That's it. Period. End.
If she wasn't, open or pushing about who her grandparents were, parents were, I wouldn't know where she was from. I mean, I know Southern Italians and Southern French people who are darker than her.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. She's like, I'm brown. I'm like if you're talking about like nationality wise, sure, but like physically, no. Like
her name too does not indicate anything.
She's mixed race. She's half Latina, half white, I believe.
Yeah, Polish.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. It's a crazy situation. But you know what? At least she got her name back out in the news. I can't wait to watch this Snow White movie.
When is this supposed to even come out?
I believe March.
March?
Or
okay, that's what I thought I heard.
It's Q1. I believe it is Q1 of 2025, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Lorn?
Did you just say you can't wait to watch the Snow White movie?
I can't wait to watch it.
Can't wait.
I said I can't wait to watch this movie bomb.
Oh, well, okay. All right, that's fine.
I'm going to have to see it for the channel.
Are you a gluttony for punishment?
one.
What in the world, man? We just got past Agatha.
Rachel Zegler is one of the first celebrities the Hollywood Access Media goes out of its way to shield. She's their favorite charity case, an abrasive egomaniac actress who never starred in a production that could be considered a success. West Side Story was a massive bomb. Shazam! Fury of the Gods was a box office turd of epic proportions. Hunger Games! Songbirds and Snakes, I believe, made its budget back, but it has the distinction of being the lowest earning Hunger Games movie in the franchise's history. So where exactly does her ego come from? And has Hollywood run out of patience for it? She seems to have no films lined up after Snow White. She's headed to New York City to work on Broadway, which might be a better place for her. If Cosmopolitan, of all places, is now fact-checking her on her nonsense, what's to become of Rachel Zegler's career? Where's she gonna go next?
I don't care.
Thanks for joining us today, and a special thanks to our Tooneytown TV channel members. You guys are the ones with the power level of over 9,000. The amazing people that keep the lights on around here and keep this channel moving forward. And for that, we thank you with exclusive contents like Marv's Theme Park Breakdown, Crime and Punishment, our true crime podcast, Kevin Apollo's rants, and more. You also get early access to every Tooneytown TV channel video, including this one. So if you're not a member of Tooneytown TV yet, what are you waiting for, guys? Join today. I also hope you'll check out Tooney Talk TV, our live stream pop culture podcast where you can make your voice heard as a part of the Tooneytown community. And that's every Thursday night at 8 p.m. EST. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!